Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk About Houses. I'm Todd.
I'm Oana.
Okay, so we're going to do a update to the Las Vegas real estate market. This is the condo update.
Right, so if you think we just did one, we didn't. That was a single family. This is condos.
This is only condos.
Stay with us.
Okay, we cannot do a daily update on the thing. It's just, we're not going to do that.
It would be boring.
Yeah, somebody said, you stopped doing them because Vegas is so bad. Absolutely not. We do that. If you go back, we do like 3 a month, which we shouldn't even do 3 a month. We should probably just do 1 a month, but we do 2 because we do a house, condo, and then sometimes we do 2 house ones like every 2 weeks. So we'll start market action index. That's the one everyone looks at. This is the highest it's been in quite a while, 37 for condos. Remember, everything in the buyer's market, we're still in a seller's market. It's called a slight seller's advantage. We can confirm that sellers do have a slight advantage in this market.
Right, so condos are selling more quickly than single-family homes for the most part because they tend to be in a lower price range. So that's pretty straightforward. If they cost less money, more people find them accessible money-wise, so that's why they tend to, particularly during high interest rate times like this, although the interest rates I don't think are that high, they tend to attract more buyers.
A normal stable market is 40. 40 is what you see, market action index. It's what we saw pre-pandemic. It was always around 40. And if you look on this chart here, this is the trend over the last 3 years. You'll see that in the middle there, where it was substantially higher, as high as 100 at some points. It hit 100 and stopped. That's literally because there was zero inventory, and you'll see that on other charts. No inventory. Stuff was selling almost, the median days on the market was 0, meaning half the condos sold the day they went on the market. So when you see that decline, go, look, that's the crash of the market. No, that's not the crash of the market. That's for going from a ridiculous market back to a normal market. What's interesting though is we told you it was 37, but the 7-day average, the leading indicator is 43. So what that means is that number is looking back at 90 days. So it's historical. It tells you what the market action index was for the last 90 days. For the last 7 days, it's 43. It's substantially higher.
Right, which means that places are selling faster.
Yeah, it's moving. It's starting to move. The next one is median list price. Median list price is forward-looking. Why is list price forward-looking?
So list price tells you where we're going, not where we've been, right? Sale prices are what happened in the past, and list prices are where we're going.
Okay, so as you can see, the normal trend is that the list prices tend to drop 3 to 4% nationally in every market, Las Vegas, from summer to fall. It happens every year. If you look down here where I put the little red line, June 2021, the hottest market ever, median list price of condos dropped. So it drops, people go, oh, housing crash. Nope, that's not a housing crash. It does it every year. We have the national charts we've shown you guys that go back 10 years that show this cyclical thing. Yes, 2022, they certainly spiked first half of the year. They have certainly adjusted. But what's interesting here is the 7-day average is 269,975, so 270. The 90-day average is only 267. So that's clearly a leading indicator, which is why the market action index is higher, because it's looking at the forward-looking stuff, right?
Right. All right, next chart.
Okay, next chart. Median days on the market. Of course, this is where you look and you can see that 0 down there. That's the bottom is 0. And during the hottest part of the boom, stuff was selling in just less than a week, right? So we're back up to getting back to normal. The 90 number that we have, 90 days, is probably still below average, probably.
It is.
3 months?
Yeah, I mean, in a normal real estate market, whatever that is at this point, homes sell in 4 to 6 months.
Okay. The other one, properties with price decreases. Historically, 30% of all listings, they list high and then they have to reduce their price. Well, people got excited, especially the crashers, when this number was like 60% of people reducing prices. That's proving the housing market's crashing. Well, but now that's going away. It's going away at an extremely rapid pace. The number of people, we're back to that is 30 something, 33%. It's almost back to normal.
Right.
Now, it's not as low as it was where nobody was reducing prices because it didn't matter what you listed for. You were getting offers immediately.
Right. So the reason why less sellers are reducing their price is twofold. One, they're coming on the market at a more realistic price rather than an optimistic price.
Okay.
And then the other reason is because buyers are back. They're purchasing the properties. Sellers are getting traction. They're getting showings. They're getting offers. So if you're getting showings and you're getting offers, then there's no reason for you to reduce your price because you will run across the buyer that is the right fit for your property.
And buyers are also not panicking. We had a recent, listing with a condo where the price never changed.
Right. And
it just stayed the same. And people came and go and nobody got excited and dumped the price. It was, we're going to get this price. This is where we're staying. And, people were like, oh, if you don't get an offer the first week, you're forced to sell.
Right.
Whatever that means.
But in the case of that particular unit, we were getting showings, we were getting offers.
Okay.
So it wasn't that we weren't getting action. We were getting action. So we knew that we were in the right place.
Yeah.
We just needed to wait for the right buyer.
Okay. The next thing is inventory. This is the inventory chart. You can see we are still below the inventory in 2020, which was historically low because this is when people start buying again. We're almost half of the normal inventory. This is a problem actually. Because what's going to happen, and you can see the trend line, the 7-day trend line is inventory is declining. It's continuing to decline. We need inventory to increase so we can have more stuff for people to buy. This is good news. This is one of the reasons market action index is increasing because inventory is starting to drop again. People are having less choices. And what does this mean in the fall if this trend keeps happening where the number of things out there are declining?
So, looking at the fall, that really doesn't bode well for that because then there'll be even less inventory in the fall. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens for the rest of February because, inventory should start climbing, mid-February, right? And so we'll see what happens with that and we'll do another market update and let you know what's going on. Because if inventory doesn't start climbing, by mid-February or so, that's going to be a very huge concern for the spring buying season because we've talked about this before. If we don't have the inventory, buyers will still come. And if they're having to bid again against each other for very few properties, then we're going to have this other spike. And that's not really what anybody wants. We don't want buyers to be disappointed. We don't want anybody to be stressed. We want everybody to have good transactions. So we'd like to see more inventory. So to that end, if you're thinking of selling, please consider giving us a call and contributing to the cause as far as adding inventory to the market. We would appreciate doing business with you, whether you're in Las Vegas or elsewhere. If you're in Las Vegas, you'll get us. If you're elsewhere, you'll get a wonderful agent that we will connect you with, and that's great. Move on.
Okay, two other statistics here. The first one is that rents have not substantially changed. We did a rent report yesterday, but the rents are for condos $1,500, which is very high. It's been $1,500 now for 6 months. It's been within $20 of $1,500 bouncing around. It was much less a couple years ago. Rents in condos have skyrocketed. To give you an idea of how high that is, a 3-bedroom home in Vegas is a little over $2,000. So people are, that $500 is a big difference to a lot of people, right? $500, you may not be able to swing it, right? So you're in a condo versus, being in a house.
Right.
Yeah. The next one is, I think was there something else I was going to say?
I don't know. We
don't know. I just probably forgot it. Okay. Price per square foot here. Now this is lagging because this is sold price this is not listing price per square foot. This is sold price per square foot. You can see I put the little red lines. This declines every year, 3 to 4%. Price per square foot drops from the end of spring until October. That's usually the trend. It was a little bit deeper this year because the rise was bigger.
Right.
We had a bigger rise. But if you look at the trend lines, those little diamonds, that's a year ago and 2 years ago today. And then the very beginning is 3 years ago today. If you just drew it, you'd have a perfectly straight line between 3 years ago and today where price per square foot for condos has gone up. Yes, we had a hump. No, that was not a crash. The home prices did not crash up, which here looks like they went up probably $20 a square foot year over year, which is pretty substantial. This is just normal annual. That you can see it did it last year. I put the little red lines to show you the time frames. Home prices, we did the Zillow report, remember, where we talked about the Zillow survey, where the best time to sell your house was like April 17th on a Thursday. Remember that? And the
Yes.
worst time was like you put on the market October 10th on a Sunday. It was like the worst time. You got the least amount of money by like $40 or something.
Yes.
But that's a legit thing.
Or so we're told.
Okay, the other thing too is that little dashed line, they have now met. Remember, this looks back 90 days. Oana, why do we not know yet? Like today, something goes under contract. We don't really know. Why not?
Well, we don't know because we only know the sale price once the transaction closes. So just because you have an accepted offer, that the amount for which that offer was accepted is unknown until we close escrow.
Okay, the next one, it's the same chart, but it's split into 4 segments. The top quarter, the second quarter, and then the bottom 2 quarters. This is by price, okay? Now, what's interesting is that if you look at the bottom 3, the home prices or condo prices have steadily climbed. They did have that slight decline. But what you really notice is they substantially declined in the top quarter, but not just since this fall, actually since 2021. The top quarter of condos. Now, some of this could be misleading, because this does not mean condo A sold and then 2 years later it sold for less. It could mean that some of the higher end condos have not come back on the market and we're churning smaller, lower end condos. Because when we say the quarters, that's only the quarter of what sold that week or month or whatever. It's not meaning the top quarter of all condos out there. It's what sold. So if there's 1,000 condo sales, it's just the top 250. So if all the bottom cheapest condos in the market are all only ones selling, what appears to happen is that prices are tanking, but that's not the case. It's the mix of what people are buying.
Right. So, and also keep in mind that luxury condos are not prevalent in Las Vegas. So because we have relatively few units compared to the other ones, it also makes it look outsized as far as the change.
Okay. Looking forward, let's first talk about rent. You have a condo. You're getting $1,500 a month rent because we know that's what you're getting. You're getting $500 more rent than you probably got 4 years ago. It's gone up substantially. Okay, condo rent growth has outpaced home rent growth.
Right.
Okay. Do you see that continuing, or do you see it going back to normal, or maybe flattening out next year and then 5 to 10 years?
So that's a really interesting question, because what you have to consider is the condo market is different than the single family home market, right?
Okay.
And the reason is because the condo market's also competing with the apartment market. The apartment market's not competing with single family homes. So that's a different mix. It's a different animal. So it takes more thought to consider. And yes, I do see condos continuing to grow as far as their rent price and their sale prices. That I definitely see. I think the apartment component is important to consider. So I don't see the appreciation being maybe quite as much as we've had, because we have a lot of apartments being built.
Yeah.
But I definitely see continued appreciation both on the rent side and on the sale price.
And keep this in mind too. First of all, I agree. I would say, I think, personal belief is if I'm buying a rental property, I'm buying a 3-bedroom single family home. I think that is the sweet spot. There's a lot of people who say, well, I don't have a lot of money. I just want to get in on something lower price. And I totally understand that. Just remember that you're also paying HOA fees. So that $1,500 sounds like a lot, but it's not a lot, because, if you have $200 of HOA fees you have to pay, your tenant doesn't pay that, you pay that. So you're really only getting $1,300. And, is the difference between what you paid for the condo versus what you would get for a house, is that a big enough difference because you may find out that it's the same. You might as well just go buy the house.
Right.
It's more money, but you can finance it, and then you're getting more rent to cover it.
Right. So that's not to say that homes don't have HOAs. They do. But traditionally, homes have a considerably lower HOA than condos do.
Yeah. The other thing, too, to keep in mind is this. The people building apartments have to be very careful. They are not, no apartment owners want to flood a market, because when they flood a market, it's not like people rush to them to go move out of their houses into apartments. They could have vacancies. The reason why they're in markets like Vegas and they're in the South is because we have a net influx of people. So they're trying to sort of time that. So, they're not, they're certainly not, going to overbuild or over dump a bunch of things in the market. That's why we said it's growing 1%, which is a lot, but it's not a lot given the number of people that are moving to Vegas.
Right.
The other thing too I wanted to say about apartments is the apartments we're seeing are not $700 a month entry level apartments. Some of the apartments we're seeing, some of the big builders like Elysium, those are like $3,000.
Yeah. So
these are high. These are like, you have a luxury apartment, you have your own little health club, which is just a nice gym, like a really nice hotel gym, right? You probably have pool and other amenities like that. You have underground parking, probably really nice, or a small garage.
Right. They'll have usually covered parking. Some will have underground parking. But the point is that they are not necessarily inexpensive to rent. And so condos do compete well for investors who purchase them. They do compete well with apartments. These apartments, like Todd said, they're brand new. They have all these beautiful facilities, but you pay for those. So there is still room for an investor who wants to get in on a condo because he can't afford a single family home. So there is still room for you in the market. So please don't be discouraged.
And there are condos that are actually on the strip, on the South Strip, that are like these 3-story things. They're super nice condos.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And for the most part, you can check the HOA. A lot of these you can rent, meaning you don't have to live in them. You can have them rented out. Right.
So that's the other thing, to be careful when you're purchasing a condo for an investment. Make sure that you check the HOA rules so you understand what the rules are regarding tenants and that sort of thing. Most of them, they do allow tenants. Most of them do have a minimum amount of time that the tenants have to have on their lease. So for example, some are 6 months, some are a year. So those are considerations. And then remember, at the end of the day, you are responsible for whatever your tenant does at the property as far as the HOA is concerned.
All right. I think that's it.
That's it. So if you thought this video was interesting, if you learned something, if you would like for us to do more of these videos, please like the video, share the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Bye.